Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dugout Podcast. I am your co-host Andrew, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host Marissa,
Hi.
and we're back. And once again, Marissa gives us the same dry tail opening
Well,
to the show.
maybe because I feel dry.
That okay, fair enough. Well, leave it there. All right, so let's get right into the Dugout Podcast. So on the agenda today, we are discussing United and Spurs, their recent league defeats. We're also going to be discussing Ruben Amorim's post-match comments from the Brighton game. We're going to look at the leaderboard, which I guess Marissa's somewhat pleased about. And we are going to talk about cricket, West Indies versus Pakistan, that first test match affairs on the pitch. So let's start with the
I am
football
praying.
and segment, as Marissa, very lengthy title here, but chastening
Oh
league
my
defeats for
gosh.
United and Spurs.
Killing me right now.
How ugly are things going to get for both clubs? All right, so Mercy, you want to take it away, or should I?
Yeah, because I got some stats before we get into it. So I just wanted to, because obviously everybody knows United in 13th, Spurs in 15th, 26, 24 points respectively. But I just wanted to look a little bit closer at the form.
Mhm.
In the last 10 games, United have taken 10 points from a possible 30. I know Amorim mentioned 2 wins, but there were actually 3 in there because it was the Everton, the City, and the Lucky. He probably remembers Southampton because honestly, that should have been a loss. But anyways, so
Uh-huh.
3 wins and a draw. The draw was, can't remember who the draw was, but yeah, 3 wins and a draw in the league, and they've
Draw was in Liverpool.
lost. Yes, they've lost 10 of a possible 22 games in the league this season, which is not great.
Right.
But in the white side of North London, it's worse.
Mhm.
5 points from a possible 30 points for Spurs. In their last 10 games in the league, they have 1 win and 2 draws.
Mhm.
And when you look at when I look back at it, this is actually since the 4-0 against City. And the only side they really played of note in there were you and Arsenal. Now, that's a bit disrespectful, but you get what I mean in terms of
Okay.
a big six, traditional big six club.
Right.
1 win and 2 draws from 10 games, and they've lost 12 of 22 games. They've lost more than half their league games this season.
Mhm.
So things are ugly right now,
Mhm.
based on those stats. How ugly are things going to get? We can talk about Amorim comments in a bit, but I don't know. For Spurs, they had a win today against Hoffenheim, right? In the
Yes.
Europa League,
Mhm.
right? And they're clinging on against hope about that Carabao Cup, but I believe that y'all would dispatch them at Anfield.
You
Honestly,
believe that we
I
dispatch them, or you hoping that we do?
believe. No. I believe. To be honest, that first leg they played against y'all was probably the best I've seen Spurs play in a while. They were lucky, in my opinion. Bergvall probably should get sent off. Probably wouldn't be there to score the goal. Liverpool weren't at their best, but I think it was a more mature performance from Spurs than I've seen in recent times. But gosh, man, they are playing so poorly. It's like every game that Spurs go into, you almost expect a loss. And when I checked, because I was in church, I shouldn't be on my phone in church, but hey, my producer is homing me. Anyways, I checked the halftime score, and when I saw Everton was 3 up, my jaw dropped. Because I'm like, this is a team that doesn't score goals. I think we both predicted a
Yes.
1-1 in that game. Everton does not score goals. I know they just changed the manager, whatever.
Different more teams don't normally score goals either.
Exactly. So you got Everton that don't score goals,
Mhm.
managed by David Moyes. What a combination. And you're 3-0 down at halftime. I know the 2 goals in second half kind of puts a little gloss on it, but
For
Spurs.
and
But
keep going.
honestly,
Sorry.
though, that I think that the fan base is getting really, really frustrated.
Mhm.
Some are calling for Ange to be sacked because he has a lot of injuries today. Saw that Solanke's out for 6 weeks, which is a huge blow.
Mhm.
Carabao Cup definitely coming to North
Well,
London.
uh-huh.
And
So
we know that he has.
they still have Richarlison and others, but go on.
Sure. But yeah, I know that they have an unprecedented injury crisis, and the squad was never really deep to begin with. But a lot of people are calling for him to be sacked because of something we talked about on our last show, the adaptability. And making do with what you have. And I mean, I know it's not in his nature to grind out results, but 1 win in 10, that's relegation for him. I actually think Sky Sports put up a table and they're like in the bottom three for recent form, which is really, really poor. I mean, Chelsea ain't far behind, but that's really, really poor. United, I don't know. United have other issues, no, because I think some reports are coming out about their potentially being close to breaching PSR, hence the potential fire sale of a lot of homegrown stars. So there's a lot going on. Glazers and Ineos seem to be raising prices again, but on the pitch too, it's not great either. It's not great either. I think it's gonna continue to get ugly for Spurs, and I think it will get uglier for Man United. But I think they have a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel because at least in this transfer window, we haven't really seen a lot of prime clubs be active. But at least United are being linked with players. I haven't seen Spurs linked with anybody, which is weird concerning their injury crisis, especially in defense. So, yeah, I've said a lot. So yeah, your thoughts? How ugly can it get at these two clubs?
Well, I don't want to sound repetitive,
Mm-hmm.
but I did say last time that for Tottenham, I said I wasn't sure if Ange would make the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
not
did.
wishing him to lose the job or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that.
We never do.
But I mean, yeah, at least as Spurs' recent results, actually the entire season in totality has been off color
Yeah.
by their usual standard or even expectations. And when I say standard, I know that they haven't won a trophy since 08. But in terms of usual standards, even if they don't qualify for the Champions League, for example, they're still somewhere around the European places, or there's still an
Yeah.
outside chance.
They're always
Um,
competitive in some way.
Correct, that they could potentially get into Europe. And I mean, I think what Spurs fans crave more than anything else would be, alongside European qualification,
A
would be
trophy.
some sort of trophy, some sort of silverware. And it doesn't look like that will materialize, although they are in a good position in the Carabao Cup semi-final, like you mentioned before. Although I know you said that you think Liverpool will turn it around. Liverpool have a good chance of turning it around, being by the fact that the game is at Anfield. It's only a 1 goal lead, and Liverpool have, I guess, a deeper squad than Spurs do, and some would argue, well, pretty clear, probably more quality within the squad as well. That Liverpool should be able to at least, shift the result back into their favor. But Spurs, at this point in time, are advantage Spurs anytime. I said last time that Andrew's future would depend a lot on how that Carabao Cup semi-final go, semi-final goal. And yeah, I think if Spurs get through, in the second leg is on February 6th. If they get through,
will he make it to
in
February
that game,
6th?
yeah, I think so. But if they get through that game, I think that they will give him a bit more time, hopefully, to at least play the damn final.
Late last time.
But I think if they suffer a heavy defeat or elimination rather, then I think the chances are that they will make a change. Now they're still in the Europa League, like you said. They got a important win this evening. But again, in terms of Europe, there's a long way to go in Europe. You don't know what teams will look like come the business end of the competitions. So I'm not so sure even if they continue the participation in the Europa League rather at this stage, if that would buy him a bit more time. I think it's more with the Carabao Cup. League position fortunes would have to change for sure. Do I see them changing? Not necessarily. So no, I'm being serious. I don't think. I think my Spurs, I'm not sure when their long-term injuries like Udogi and Romero and Van de Ven and those guys are due back. I'm not entirely sure. But I think when those players start to come back, I do think the results might improve slightly. But I think by that point, I think the season will be, in terms of the league format, I think the season will be pretty much, done. It'll just about, maybe finish as high as you can in the table, maybe salvaging some pride, maybe gaining some momentum to maybe take into next season, if anything. So that's what I'm saying. I honestly believe that Spurs will have that Ange rather, and he's kind of like made a run for his own back, because by making that statement, it means that the entire media is out for him. That statement about I will always make something in my second season. The sharks lurking. They smell blood in the
Yeah,
water right now.
definitely.
And they're going to stick to that.
Mm-hmm.
So lose against Liverpool, I know it becomes just about Europa League, and I don't know, coupled with the leave form, I don't know how long Levy leaves him in the job.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still in the FA Cup? Yes, I think they won. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they won
they
in the third round.
beat.
Yeah.
Who they beat?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
It was a low league side,
Tranmere
right, after
in
extra time.
extra time.
Right.
Yeah.
They're still in the FA Cup, so I guess, maybe if they lose in Carabao Cup, maybe focus shifts to that.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing I could salvage this season for Tottenham is a trophy, and
I agree.
it would still be a poor season, all things considered, but I guess because it's a trophy and they haven't had one for a while,
Mm-hmm.
that would qualify it as a success.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I in terms of my prediction for Tottenham, I think that the league form, again, will continue to be more off-color than, good.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think that by mid-February, we might be talking about a managerial change at Tottenham. But I could be wrong. Not a prophet here. Man United. I mean, up and down. And I actually forgot something to mention about Tottenham, but I can mention it with Man U too because it applies to both. But Man U up and down. I remember we talked with strength of the squad. It's going to take a couple of windows to improve. Yes, you're correct. They have some PSR issues, so it means that they might be looking to offload a few players that maybe necessarily they might not have looked to offload just yet, like Garnacho, who seems to be talk of the town. Like I said, I think Man U will be up and down in terms of they will get the odd big result or the odd result that you expect them to get against a team that they should beat. But then they will still have some bad performances. We obviously know that the certain elements of the squad are not strong enough to get Man U where they want to be, such as Onana. Coming out to gather balls and dropping them right at people's feet.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Harry Maguire did made a mistake I mean, people interpret it as a mistake, but I mean, the ball beat him, right? If you didn't see the Rangers goal.
I didn't.
But people still, I don't think it's much of a mistake. I think it's just that the ball beat him, yes. But at the same time, I think the body of evidence from Harry Maguire at Man United is one where people might not necessarily be too sad to see him, be offloaded at some stage. I don't think he's one that they're going to necessarily look to build for the future next 3, 4, 5 years. Casemiro, there's Everton. There are people at Man United who will let to move on for sure and rejuvenate the squad, but they're going to be up and down. I think that you can't only sufficiently judge Amorim maybe into next season coming towards Christmas time, because then he'll be there long enough. I know people talk about, well, the form has been bad and it's been worse than Ten Hag's performance, and you would normally expect that when a new manager comes in, you get a upward bounce. Here's the thing that's similar about Man United and Tottenham. They have two managers that are essentially very stubborn and have said that regardless of whatever happens, we're playing this style, this pattern of play, this is what we're going to try to do. In Amorim's case, I don't think Amorim necessarily has the personnel to play the style of football he wants to implement, but he's still persistent with it. In Ange Postecoglou's case, I don't think Tottenham ever have the best players in the league, but no, they don't have the best players, and then they also are, being wrecked by injury. But he's still persisting. I think the difference is that with Amorim, Man U can still pick it all the win to keep his head above water. And people will argue it's not his squad. He didn't assemble it. He now can. I don't think Man U will make a change between now and the end of the season unless Man U was to get relegated, which I don't think will happen. Exactly. So I think Amorim's job is safe pretty much, right? Although the pressure will mount, people will definitely ask serious questions next year.
Right.
But his job is safe. And on the other hand, though, again, that's really, you mentioned, the fail to adapt. Can you, even if you don't change the system, can you just tweak a little something in terms of mentality, in terms of compactness, be a bit more solid? He's refused to do that. He's determined to play. I spoke to a colleague who's a Tottenham fan the other day. He said that he thinks Ange will get some time because Ange can argue that he's only been playing with youngsters. Right? But I'm not sure if that's a sufficient excuse.
Yeah,
I think you can make some sort of adjustment.
Yeah.
So in terms of things for both clubs, I think you say how ugly things get. Well, Tottenham haven't won a trophy in, so I don't know how much ugly it get. I think it's pretty much the same. Man United, again, I think Man United, it's going to be interesting with PSR. Because I was confident that Man United will always have resources to, assemble a squad to get players, blah, blah, blah. I think for Man United, the more important thing was getting a proper coach and establishing a culture that would get them moving forward. Now that with this financial issue, that might kind of have an impact on what Man United can do transfer wise. So
Yeah,
we'll
they
see.
seem very broke. They seem very broke. But my question though,
Mhm.
I have been mixed on this, and I think we raised this a few weeks back. Should Amorim to me clearly does not have the right tools.
Right.
Should he therefore play a different style
Mhm.
until he gets those tools
The
in order to get results at least?
Yes, but here's the thing.
Mhm.
It's like a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
You can't play a style of football if you've got a minute play.
Mhm.
I always say that. You gotta play the football, you gotta play the style that suits the man you got. Right? But at the same time, I guess if it's his philosophy, he might tell himself, well, if I change, I don't know what he's been told with my culture or what, so I'm not
Mhm.
sure if he has concerns about, dressing room mutiny and stuff like that and being
Mhm.
undermined if he appears soft and he appears that he's backing off and softening to the players' demands. I'm not sure. Because I think I heard one of the pundits, can't remember which one it was, said, for example, that, some of the players should go to the coach and say, well, no, this hasn't been working. I think it was against Brighton game, too,
Mhm.
saying that this style or whatever hasn't working and maybe we should change. And sometimes players do that.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if his stance is like, well, if I do that, I lose the dressing room.
Mhm.
And I'm another thing high here that people don't necessarily respect.
Right.
Right? And we have evidence of that because remember he left out Garnacho at times. Rashford still can't get in the squad,
Mhm.
and they're performing horribly,
Mhm.
right? So we know even Casemiro is prepared to leave
Yeah.
him on the bench, and he's an expensive signing
Yeah.
to be sitting on your bench. So yeah,
My issue is, and I agree with you. I mean, like we talked about when we first raised it, you brought in this man, you know his philosophy, whatever, whatever. But my thing is that when Conte first came to Chelsea,
Mhm.
he didn't immediately play a back three. It took a defeat
it was like a half a
against
season. Yeah, he was about for first thing switch.
yeah, not quite half a season, but it took a
You're right,
few
though.
games.
Yeah, you're right.
I will always remember that Marcus Alonso substitution at halftime against Arsenal because we were getting hammered in that game, and we
Yeah, that
started
was like September,
playing.
October-ish.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's when and we knew Conte was a back three coach. Tuchel, same thing. Tuchel didn't take as long, but Tuchel's first game,
Mhm.
0-0 against Wolves, he played about 4.
Mhm.
And I just think that Amorim was not done any favors. He was never given enough time to assess his squad properly.
Right.
But I just felt maybe keep the continuity of a system,
Mhm.
see what you're working with, and then change. Because I think they've basically gone. It's like when you try to quit something cold turkey.
Right.
It don't always be effective.
Mhm.
So I don't want to tell him, he should never play a back three. He wants to build United into a 3-4-3 team. So be it. That's his philosophy. But I just think that right now it could be compromising results, and I think the results are necessary, especially for them to get the table. Obviously, the higher you finish, the more money you get, and they clearly need the money. So yeah, like you said, it's a double-edged sword, but that's where I stand.
But okay, this is my last thing I'll mention before we go off this issue. Because talking about Man United can be exhausting. But I don't blame Amorim for that. I blame the Leaderboard.
I agree,
Because again,
100%.
I think I mentioned it before.
Mm-hmm.
The reports are that he was one of the coaches that would have been considered when they were looking at coaches to make a change initially in the summer. One of the reasons that they decided to persist with Ten Hag and not necessarily go with him, because if he was the right coach, I don't think much would have changed from August to when he was here, November-ish, December-ish.
November, I think.
November-ish,
Yeah.
okay. So I don't think much would have changed between, in terms of their opinion, between
end
of season, May, June, into November.
Yeah.
Whatever they thought of Amorim then is what they would have thought about him in November. But the reason that they didn't make a change was because reportedly they felt as though the squad that they had that was assembled didn't suit his style of or philosophy of football that he was implementing at Sporting.
Yeah.
So my thing is that tells me that even when you bring him on mid-season, you know what I mean? It's not like you told Ten Hag to sign players that would have suited that guy's style.
Exactly.
So you definitely knew that it's going to be a period of adjustment, and you definitely know the guy's going to need some windows to see who can play his style, who he needs to get rid of, who is coachable, and we mentioned from the start, we didn't think our United squad it had a lot of expensive signings, but we didn't think it was like necessarily the best in terms of quality, in terms of depth. So there's a lot of holes in that team.
All right. So speaking of Amorim, he made some very interesting comments that definitely has people split.
Mm-hmm.
He said in 10. Well, let me read what we're going to be talking about. So
Right.
Amorim made some comments post Brighton. So my question is it refreshing honesty? Because many times on this podcast we talked about how delusional Ten Hag was in his press conferences, or were his comments unnecessary? So Amorim said, in 10 Premier League games we've won 2. I know that. If it's like this for a fan of Manchester United, imagine what it's like for me. You are getting a new coach that is losing more than the last coach. I have full knowledge of that. Like I said, I'm not going to change no matter what, and I know we can succeed. But we need to survive this moment because I'm not naive and I know what we need to survive. No, we are being the worst team, maybe in the history of Manchester United. And I know you want headlines, but I'm saying that because we have to acknowledge that and change that. So that was a mouthful. What are your thoughts on his comments?
In terms of whether or not I think they were refreshing honesty or
Yeah,
unnecessary.
yeah.
Honestly,
hmm
I don't care.
That's not one of the options.
Really? I honestly do not care. I know how to feel about it.
Hmm.
I mean, I know. Okay, so there's a school of thought that even if you feel that way, that shouldn't be messages coming up in Manchester United from Manchester United coach. That should be something that you keep to yourself or you keep in house in the dressing room.
hmm
Not necessarily get the players on side. Yada 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 yada. Um, I think I heard somebody say, for example, that it was almost like Amorim is trying to get some sympathy as well
Mm.
from the media and get him on side.
Pity.
Yeah,
I think I
pity.
heard that.
Get them, to get there before the media get there. Almost like, beat them to the punch,
hmm
so to speak. I'm really true. I don't know. If it's how he generally feel, fine. I mean,
How would you
the,
feel if you were Liverpool in this situation?
right.
And Amanda said that. So that's a better way for me to get the answer
Okay,
to
so
you.
it all depends on how I feel about his squad.
Okay.
So if I feel like Gary never felt or feels
Great.
that is
Poor
that
Gary.
this squad is should be challenging for top 4, and this squad has more the quality that, because he said that earlier, but then I think he kind of doubled back on that recently. Well, Gary, but if I feel like he feels, then I'll be offended. But if I'm in a moment where, for example, like when Liverpool would have been coached by Hodgson or Brendan Rodgers or Dalglish at different times when the squad wasn't really that good apart from 2 or 3 players, I'll probably be on the steady coach and I land based on the players. It's the players' fault. The players need to do better, or we need to bring in better quality players. But in terms of whether or not I see it as him being honest or I see it as him making unnecessary comments, that's something that he will know. I can't really interpret that. That could be how he genuinely feels about it. I honestly think he's just being honest. Personally, I'm not so sure necessarily he was looking for a pity or what's not. I think
the pity comment was a bit much.
Yeah, I think in that moment he's frustrated after defeat, and he's basically being realistic. Like, I know that I have to do better, or that Man United has to perform better, because I know that on this current trajectory of results, it's going to label us as one of the worst Man United teams in history.
I mean, statistically they are, based on where they are this season.
Yeah. So
I think for me, I can't say, oh my gosh, Ten Hag is so delusional, he's never honest, and then criticize Amorim for being honest. I think he has been very, very honest from the time he came in about Man United. He's always honest about when they're poor. He's always honest about when they're decent. But from the point, I was just thinking about it from the point of view of, I try to see football. I know it's not the same environment, but I try to see football as a workplace. I was just imagining my boss going in the media and talk about, this is the worst set of employees I ever had. It's not the same, but I can't imagine feeling okay with that as an employee. I think as a fan, like you rightfully said, if I can't stand half the players and I know half the players is crap, my manager coming out and saying that, I would be like, good, be on the same page. But I still am not sure if it's something that should be said publicly.
All right, here's the thing. This is where we challenge you on whether or not it should be said publicly or not. And this is the only reason that I really don't even bother about if Amorim said it. because it's not like he's taking up a mind in his squad that has no starting to fill. This squad has been
It's
playing
true.
poorly and performing, basically playing in different performances, inconsistent performances for 2, 3, 4 odd years.
Yeah, it's true. They've
The
been
body of
mid-table.
work justifies that Ten Hag come out top boat winner or them. I should
Mhm.
say them. So for me, I mean, I know I said I don't care, but honestly, I don't care because I'm not a Man United fan. As we all know. But I don't see it as something that I know. But again, I think when you hear pundits like Rio and them say, for example, that it should be something kept in house or whatnot, they're talking about. I think they're playing on their player
Yeah,
mindset. They're talking
definitely.
about
Which
when
is
they were in
what
the
I
dressing
was
room,
doing. Yeah,
they wouldn't want
they
a
wouldn't
coach
want. Yeah,
they'll be so harsh and critical of them in the public domain.
right.
And I think sometimes, players do need that protection. But there are times when there are times when they need to be called out. Now, the one player in my United squad of late who deserves our praise.
It's Ahmad.
He too, but he really got a criticism. He's the young player. I don't think he really. I don't think in individual anybody ever said Ahmad. Had a they might have maybe when he first came in the squad, maybe some poor decisions with the ball that could happen as he's learning the game. But I wouldn't say he really got any faulty treatment. The ones who normally get the veteran from the fans would be expensive signings who have not performed, or the ones in leadership roles who have not been pulling their weight. I think the one person who has really showed up last month or so is Bruno.
Yeah, he has. True.
So,
credit is you.
Maybe he wouldn't deserve it. Maybe he should feel a little bit, But if that's the manager's opinion, then I think based on the body of work, is the onus on the manager squad to know putting the performances that the manager wants on a more consistent basis to prove him wrong. I honestly believe that they haven't been showing it recently or at different times, but I think that every Man United player, for the most part, or should feel as though they're playing for their Man United future. And Man United is still one of the best clubs in the world. So I hope that they realize that or understand that normally when you leave Man United is not like going up. You're normally going down.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. It's true. Well, yeah, we don't need to spend much more time on that. I just wanted to get your take on it because, I find sometimes the British media could be a bit harsh. I think the pity comment was not on. And I definitely don't think that he deserved the amount of criticism that he's gotten. But I can also understand from another perspective. So yeah, but I like that he's honest, and I think it was one of the things I love about Marissa when he came in. Just the refreshing honesty, and it's good to have that. But I did hear that things kicked off in the minor dressing room because he was really angry with them. Really angry. And I don't know if that press conference happened before or after, but you could tell, like you said, he was very upset and very angry at that result. So, and rightfully so, they were disgusting in that game.
I don't even think it's a result. I think it's a matter of performance. I think it's really a result.
Yeah.
Because he picked up Man United. They were already doing poorly. I don't think anybody expected him to pick them up and go straight to top 4 or whatever case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was just it's just a performance. I think where he's just trying to get him to put in the sort of performance that they put in against Liverpool and Arsenal every week.
Yeah.
Which I know, like when Klopp first came to Liverpool that first year, that was difficult too. So it's a process.
Yeah. All right, so before we take a break for a word from our sponsors, we're going to jump right into our leaderboard. So, has some very interesting results. So, I have extended my lead over you to 11 points.
Okay.
These last 2 weeks, you picked up 10 points. I think you got 2 spot-on results in terms of scoreline. And then I got 16 points. In addition to some, regular, win calls, got 4 correct score predictions. So I now lead the leaderboard 39 to 28.
Okay. I think I had a better week, obviously. Last week than I did recently, but obviously I had a good week as well. You did. So I thought I did well, but then
it was your best week.
Exactly. Definitely. Surprisingly, you did well as well. So, like you said, I could call 2 results. I watch your games. I could call 2 down results that went against me right at the death.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the Marius Sophana game. No, I didn't watch the Marius Sophana game apart from the last 10 minutes.
Which is when everything happened, yeah.
True, but I mean, I think that was maybe game, right?
Yeah, it was
Right,
last
so
week.
when I got home from where I saw the last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him, Diallo scored 2 goals in a quick succession, turned around. I was like, well, good, 3 points in for me. And then Aaron Ramsdale played a sloppy ball to Harvard Bellis, that's his name. And he was not really sloppy ball. He played the ball into Harvard Bellis. First touch heavy, Ahmed, as per usual, pounces, and that took the 3 points away from me because then it became just a point. I was so devastated. I was like, what the hell is this? And then the other result that could have gone my way that didn't was the fact that Arsenal, in true Arsenal, neglecting the fact that they're supposed to be into the race and goal difference could matter. They said that they wasn't going to score a third against Tottenham. I haven't caught Tottenham on the ball multiple times trying to flip it for the back. Havertz and Cody said that I'm going to put the third goal in that. I think Odegaard had one too that blinked up and he only had. And so I was like, it's not about Arsenal, but it was like a crawl with 3-1 winning. The 3-1 is what I predicted. And it was that they had chances to score, didn't score. So anyway, those two results that could have made it better for me that didn't go my way. So like I said, rested with you. And if you make, I can't. I see people say I can't wait.
You done?
For the most part, yes.
Good. Because I just here quietly, just minding my business as you continue to find excuses after excuse.
That's not excuse, that's reality.
But last time, I never used to come here, whatever. But it's alright. I understand.
Because look, anyway, no.
I understand.
You don't understand nothing.
I understand fully.
You don't understand nothing. But it's different.
I understand is the haterade.
It's not a haterade. First, right? It's a haterade boy in my body. I'm not you. But the difference between me and you, and I show people the difference between me and you. Well, it cannot be a hater because when you win, if you do win, because it's about you don't like the prediction that when you do win, if you do win, that is. But it looks like you win. The point is that I will congratulate you. And I'm sure you won't go wait 2 seasons to get you winning
2
seasons. Or
okay. You done? So we could get into your predictions?
Go ahead.
Great.
I mean, right now, actually really forfeit, right? Because you so far ahead.
Forfeit? Why would you quit? They're like 8. How much more match days? 16 more match days. It's not. It's not.
Anyway,
16 match days left. There's so much more football to play.
Make your prediction, young girl.
So, first game at the weekend we're going to predict it is Liverpool v Ipswich. Shoops. I'm going to go with a Liverpool 3-1 win.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just put okay.
No problem.
Liverpool 3-1 win. I'm going to go 3-0.
All right.
To Liverpool, obviously.
Arsenal away at Wolves. When is the last time Arsenal and Liverpool played the same time? It's interesting.
I'll go to 1 Arsenal.
Yeah, same. Chelsea away at Man City. Do not say what I think you're going to say. It's me.
First, that's all you have to say.
Oh, 2-2.
Stiff. I should won't come offensive.
I was actually going to predict a Chelsea win, but I said nah.
I'll do it for you.
I can't.
I think Chelsea will win this game 2-1.
Away at the Etihad.
Yeah.
You got
when
jokes.
you're losing, so I'm going to lose. So, anyway, 2-1.
That's Chelsea. Not the spirit. You got to fight to the end, buddy.
No, it's not fighting for the end. It's just that I'm just suggesting that I'm going to take a gamble.
All right. Fair enough.
It could pay off or it might not pay off.
Spurs at home to Leicester. Gosh.
Ay.
For real.
I'm going to go 2-2.
Given that Spurs' only win in this cycle is against a team in bottom 3, I can go with a 2-1 Spurs win.
Okay.
That's going to be the worst prediction of the week. But hey.
You might be right.
And you said
just I don't trust Spurs. That was said.
It's true. I don't trust them either. I would go with a 2-1. That's the win, but I'll go 2-1 Spurs, man. All right. And then Fulham at home to United. Oh, that's a very late
I
kickoff on Sunday.
am going to go with a 2-1 Fulham.
Me too. Oh gosh, that's probably my easiest prediction.
Ooh.
No. This is gonna be a very, very interesting week. These 2 weeks are big in the title race, I would say. With City having these 2 games, Arsenal having some tricky fixtures as well. You having a interesting fixture coming up. So I think this week is going to be very, very good in the title race. So let's start. First fixture. Liverpool away to Bournemouth. Indeed. You went first just now, so I'll go.
Sure.
Yeah, you said 2-1 Fulham and I said me too.
I
I think it's going to be a difficult fixture. Bournemouth are ravaged by injuries. I think they only have 11 or 12 fit players, but they're doing so well with them. Stick a 2-2 in me and a 4-1 in Newcastle. And they're very good at home. Very, very good at home. I'm actually going to go with 2-2.
As I knew you would. I think Liverpool win actually though. 2-1.
Of course.
That's not of course thing, but I think it's a difficult game. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I could also say a 2-1. But I think if Liverpool has a deeper squad, I think Liverpool will be able to make a change from the bench and maybe
True.
swing it to their favor.
Fair. Good rationale. Man United at home to Crystal Palace. This is also a very interesting fixture.
I see. Okay, I'll go 2-1 United win.
I'm gonna go 2-2. I will have gone 2-1 Palace, but I can regret these predictions. I didn't, but I think it's gonna be a draw.
This is your year. You ain't got nothing to regret. It's all set up for you nicely.
Oh my god, stop.
Sure, true story. It's your year.
All right.
This is your year
I
with
will
Charlotte.
not allow
At least
you.
off the pitch.
I will
on the
not
pitch for Chelsea.
allow you to
Off
jinx
the
me.
pitch. I will not allow you to what?
Jinx me.
I'm not jinxing you.
Spurs at home to Brentford. Sorry, Spurs away to Brentford.
Spurs away to Brentford. That's your first one.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 3-1 Brentford win.
Oh.
Pile on the pressure just before that Carabao Cup.
Same. I'll go 3-1 Brentford win too.
All right, and the big one, Arsenal at home to Manchester City.
Me first.
Yeah. Thank God. I need some time to think.
I think this will be 1-1. Yeah. I think Haaland gonna have to say. When I think Arsenal match, right? I just think of the stay humble. So I think Haaland gonna have to say.
Turkish was. A lot of Arsenal fans were really annoyed by that comment. But Turkish was the only one that said that we do have to stay humble. We haven't won a league title in 20 years. I respected that. I respect Turkish,
21.
Oh, 21. Oh, sorry.
It'll be 21.
Who's counting, right?
Yeah. Well, trust me, Rebel fans counted every
It's
one
true.
victory.
It's true.
So I can count for
they
anybody
did.
that
We
did
did,
in a draw right now.
All right, so you say 1-1?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 City win.
Very brave.
I felt it. In my spirits.
Give it 2 weeks, man. We felt.
Honestly, City have been. They had that defeat yesterday.
I watch again. Yeah. Is that way you're picking enemy?
But some of their players are coming back in form. They signed that guy from Morocco. That could be.
Marmouche. He's from Egypt.
Egypt, sorry, Marmouche. Could be the Mahrez regen. Or the actual replacement to Mahrez. That's the vibe that I get, eh?
He's a good player.
And City moving in this transfer window like a team that, one, can escape the 115 charges, and two, like a side that can have a good second half of the season. That's my instinct, despite the defeat last night.
The thing is, right, okay, I'm not sure we'll have it. I think they will have a better second half of the season than they would at first. Whether or not that materializes into some sort, so we will see. But I think City moving like a team that definitely next season will have something to prove.
Yeah. And they're starting early on their business.
Correct.
Anyways, Chelsea at home to West Ham. So many subplots in this game. I am going to go, however, with a 2-1 Chelsea win.
Okay. Same.
Despite Potter's return to the bridge.
I think Chelsea will win the game 2-1 as well.
Okay, cool. So we have a lot of similar predictions. So, yeah. But we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to these games. I think, as I said, I think it's going to be a crucial week for the title race. I think I'm definitely going to keep an eye, especially on that Bournemouth-Liverpool game. I think that could be a critical game. If y'all come out to that game with a win and then Arsenal drop points, title race definitely done, in my opinion. I'm being serious. I am being dead serious. Honestly, I prefer City to win the league over you. But,
This is a blasphemous thing.
Anyways, but when I think of... I'm going back to the table.
Go ahead.
Right, good. You are 6 points ahead with a game in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, I think we both went for Arsenal win. And we both went for a Liverpool win. So we expect that 6 point gap to remain the same. But going into that week, if City lose if Arsenal lose as I think they will, even if you draw, but if you win, that's 7 points with a game in hand. I don't think Arsenal can claw back that lead. I just don't. Yeah, I know you guys haven't been in good form and stuff. What?
You said mini Sam. You said Arsenal lose. You expect Arsenal lose, and if I win, right, that can't be something meaning.
It's 6 now.
Right.
So if Arsenal lose and you win, that's 9.
Right.
But with a game in hand.
Right, but you said 6 with a game in hand. You said it'd be 7, so I'm just correcting you.
Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, right. Because I know that y'all haven't been, the Liverpool y'all have been in the earlier part of the season. But I don't see Arsenal climbing back a potential, if you guys win against Everton, that's like a potential 12-point lead in February. Nah, I can't see it. So I think that not this upcoming week, but the week after is going to be pivotal for the title race. You heard it here first. Yeah.
Right. But I have a question.
Oh, gosh.
Why would you prefer City to win to Liverpool?
Because I know the Man City fans that can go.
What talk about?
I don't need you to win a league.
I got Paul.
I don't talk Man City fans that I talk to on a regular.
Not because they ain't really his group, but that ain't point. There are Man City fans that is just.
Whatever.
But okay, fair enough. So you think that I will go?
Of course.
No, I'm not.
I can clip this up.
Clip what up?
You're trying to tell me that if you win a league title with all your contractual issues, signing one player with a whole new manager, that you cannot go?
I'm not going to go.
I don't
know. Here's why. It's not because this will only be the second title I've seen Liverpool win, right? So it's not even a case where it's commonplace. It isn't commonplace. I would feel happy, yes. I feel ecstatic, actually. But I'm not going to go because my inclination is not to call you and gloat to you. I mean, I gloat on here or Met Sport on here because it's fun for me. But the only Chelsea fan that can really hear me out is one Christopher Cox. The only person I can really hear me out. And he can hear me out because he can go, if they go for a missing person report for he can go missing. He can be absent. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of you don't want anything to worry about because I'm not going to message you, call you, send an email, I can even drive to your house.
Send an email?
I'm not a person who drive your house with my speakers and play you, never walk alone outside. I would never think of such things.
That's a very specific.
I could just give it an example.
Specific example.
I'm just saying things that I will, do to Christopher. I'm not going to do to you.
I see. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. Whole Health Pharmacy, located in Jordan's Complex, Speightstown, St. Peter, carries a variety of products to take care of you and your health. Essential oils, muscle rubs, and the run-of-the-mill medications. And definitely don't forget your vitamins. Vinci Sea Salt, air humidifiers, tumblers, and women's havens pads too. We got it all for you. Don't forget your Barbados and natural Vinci snacks. So for sure you're gonna keep coming back. Ever hear about structured water? Well, tell your son, tell your daughter. Whole Health Pharmacy. More than a pharmacy, we take care of you and your health. And we're back. All right, so our final segment is, of course, cricket. You know what? This should already start with cricket, but
Wait,
I don't know.
you gotta start for the right
It's
foot.
true, you know.
You can't listen. You can't come and talk about what we both talk about first up.
It's true. West Indies continue to break records in Test cricket. Um, that picture you sent me with the, it was the first instance of a number 9, 10, 11.
We should play that last one.
Hmm?
You should put send a shot so we can.
Yeah, no
play
problem. Yeah. Yeah. I actually saw it before you sent it to me. It was just so pathetic. So pathetic. And then I think it was our shortest test by balls face or some nonsense like
It's
that.
possible. It's possible.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't really got much to say about the game. I'll let you handle that since you watched the highlights. I cannot be bothered.
Right.
My thing is what it is going to lead to in the future. So tell me about the game.
Alright, so I watch the highlights. I watch the highlights first with this, not every.
Okay.
Not day 3.
Mm-hmm.
The game finished in 3 days, right?
Probably.
I think it was 3 days. I don't think it meant 4. But I thought West Indies did well with the ball. I think we fielded first. We did well to dismiss Pakistan for 230 runs. I actually think, as per usual, we were in a strong enough position that you would have liked to get them all out sooner. But I think the 5th wicket partnership was 12 centuries from 2 batsmen from Pakistan.
Right.
So I think that kind of got them something to bowl out and defend.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we had bowled Pakistan for under 150, for example, we would have still struggled. I think so. Pakistan would, the lead wouldn't be that big, but Pakistan would have probably still won the game because our batting was atrocious, a calamity, and obviously because we get dismissed for 130 odd, like you said, the top 3 scores were the last 3 batsmen in the lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
9 through to number 11. It's embarrassing, but what I would say, I do think, because normally I come on here after West Indies batting performances and I talk about the elaborate shot selection, for example, the giving with the wicket, so to speak, getting in and not carrying on, for example. Well, you'll be happy to know that none of it already got in. And,
oh, I saw from the scorecard.
But even more, this is the thing I took away from it. I don't think it was the case that the West Indies batsmen gave away the wicket or batted poorly. You hear me out? Just
can't play a spin.
Exactly. I honestly, right, it was good deliveries that got them out. It was the skill on show from the Pakistani spinners was exceptional. Some of the best spin ball I've seen in a while. I think Ian Bishop mentioned that none of the West Indies batsmen would have actually faced this kind of bowling on a pitch that was spin and gripping that much, and it was clear for all to see. They had no answer. I think it's just a case where, they didn't have the tools, capability to do any better in terms of the deliveries that I got out with. But I think that's not an excuse, because I think at the same time, it was still like them to occupy the crease a bit more, maybe just show a bit more resilience, a bit more stickability at the wicket. But so that's disappointing from that aspect. But I won't kill them, because if the man can't get the spin play, it's a case. I think it got to be a case of it is what it is.
So how did 9, 10, 11 play spin?
They attacked. They truly, back the ball. They make, but that happens all the time. We see countless matches where, for example, the outcome is inevitable, and then the tailenders will come and play a few shots, and
that's fair.
Yeah, I think that was more a case of that.
That's
it was
fair.
Like attack is the best form of defense.
That's fair.
We just play some shots here and see what happens.
So why we talk Arda can't adopt that approach? The reason I say that
I can't honestly answer that.
The reason I say that is when I look at, I use Australia as an example. Australia's best Test batsman in recent years has been Travis Head. And when you look at his strike rate, you understand why. No matter he bats at 5,
right?
Sometimes he could come in Australia 20 for 3 or 250 for 3. He plays the same way all the time. And I think that sometimes, and this is where I can have appreciation for how England play. Their style of play is always about putting pressure back on the thing. I didn't say you go there and swipe. But I just think that we need to sometimes follow our natural instincts, because sometimes attack is a better form of defense. Wouldn't it have been better that we attack and at least get to 200? or 150. How much we met? Not like 115 or some nonsense like
Yeah,
that.
I think you mean first inning?
Mm-hmm.
It was like 137 odd.
Right. So I'm just saying it's not a foolproof plan. We could have get ball for 50 playing that way, and then you would have get more criticism. But
here's the thing: there were one or two batsmen that did try to play aggressive strokes,
it didn't
and
work out too well.
it didn't
Okay.
work. That were batsmen. I think
Fair.
the Hodge guy and maybe somebody else.
Okay. Fair enough.
It just wasn't happening. And like I said, I on this I'm like you know me. I just sometimes lambaste
Yes.
West Indies players, and you would tell me, Andrew Dine, you're being a bit too unfair here. Da, 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 da. I honestly, right, on this occasion, not to excuse the West Indies' performance, they got to do better. And we have to find some way of preparing our players better for the condition and the quality of opponent that we have to face in these test series, for sure. But sometimes you just got to take your hat off his skill.
Fair. I just think for me, my concern is it is gonna add more body of a lot more body of evidence to the calls for a 2-tier test system, because apparently England, Australia, and India want to have a meeting sometime next month to possibly break test cricket into 2 divisions where they get to play each other more, and then the lower teams get to play each other more. So what I find interesting is that the people that it will benefit more are more in favor of it, like the Englands and stuff like that. But obviously, people from the West Indies have spoken out against it. I mean, again, I'm kind of split on it.
Tell me what.
I think that if you want teams to get better, you need to allow them to play other top teams as well.
You can't get better if you don't play the top teams.
Exactly. If we playing against Zimbabwe all the time, like, come on, no disrespect to Zimbabwe, but you understand what I mean.
I'm following.
So then, I mean, I look at the one great performance we had in Australia since we've been alive, which was the Gabba test last year. Those are moments, they're few and far between, but the feeling that they give you, those are moments can't be replaced. And I don't like that their excuse, their go-to is to, let England, Australia, and England, who control everything to begin with, let's play each other more. You know what I love about England, India, Australia, India test series is that they don't happen every year. If I was watching that cricket every year, I get bored. Is the novelty and the excitement comes from, there's a build up to it every 2 years, every 3 years. And yeah, okay, West Indies and Australia, not really a fair matchup, especially in Australia, same thing with West Indies, England. But I don't like the idea that their idea is to maybe like almost form an old boys club and leave the rest behind. Because the funny thing is, look who Australia is going to be playing in the World Test Championship final this year. South Africa. South Africa isn't considered. And the thing is, South Africa has gotten a lot of criticism for reaching the World Test Championship final because they're like, they didn't play anybody of note. But it's how they have the schedule. They literally have the schedule where everybody doesn't play everybody. And then, obviously, the big teams play each other more. Like, tell me why England and India playing a T20 and one-day series? No. It's so unnecessary. They literally played each other recently in some form of cricket. But that's where the money is for them. On the other hand, I get it because they want to have an idea of promotion and relegation. So that I guess the top 2 who finishes in the lower league will get elevated to the higher league. But still, I just think it's almost like the Prem. They might just go right back down, to be honest. Especially if it's somebody at West Indies that probably can't compete with the Englands and the Australians and the South Africas. So I don't think, like you said, I don't think that sides like Afghanistan, West Indies are going to get better by playing each other. They're going to get better by playing better teams and playing more test cricket. Australia and India literally had a 5 test series. We barely get 2 tests. That doesn't help either, That does not help either. So I don't know. This just feels like a very easy solution for them. And they're not really interested in growing the game. That's just my opinion. That was a bit of a rant.
It definitely was. I think you get better when you get access to greater resources, improve your infrastructure, as well as playing against better teams. I think that's the way forward for West Indies cricket. Any minnow, so I know I call West Indies a minnow, But that's, I mean, in
No,
reality, that's
it's
what
in
we are now.
reality.
We are minnows. We only play 2 tests against England, 2 tests against.
Yeah.
We may get lucky if we get 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember as a little boy growing up, we used to play 5 tests against Australia and England.
Yeah.
We used to play at least 4 against India.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's 2 or 3. And also, like I said, recent history suggests that when those teams, unless it's a case where they haven't been to the Caribbean in a while,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time when they visit the Caribbean or we go to their neck of the woods, they rotate their squads and play.
Yeah.
Give,
Second
it's almost like
size and stuff
we try
like
to
that.
blood
It's
players
true.
that we try to save to the handle test career or whatnot. So yeah, we have been relegated to a team now where you try things against.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that when you look at our bowling, and it's funny you started off with that when you assess the test match. Our bowling, in my opinion, is not consistent enough, but it's good enough to rattle any batting lineup. We have good resources in our bowling. The problem is our batting. And you called it again. We are not exposed to that sort of spin bowling in the island, just like when we go in the islands, just like when we go to England, we ain't exposed to that sort of swing bowling. And the only way you can really and truly get better is when you get exposed to those things.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Like I said, like I think we played about 3 spinners in our attack.
Right, which is standard for
Moti and the other person was Sinclair.
I'm sure.
I think it was Sinclair. That I can remember bowling spin.
Mm-hmm.
And they delivered the occasional quality ball and got a wicket or 2.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, every ball for the Pakistani, it looked like it was a wicket taking delivery. I was like, so I mean, it's saying hats off to the quality of spin for Pakistan. In terms of the tier system that they're proposing, I mean, I really have no view on it because I think at the end of the day, what they decide to do is what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it'd be interesting because I think like even if you have a system where your top 2 go up and your next 2 come down, for example, we know unless it's a case where England, for example, had back-to-back series against Australia, India, and New Zealand or somebody that could challenge them.
Mm-hmm.
We know Australia, India, and England, for example, never get relegated.
Exactly.
Never be in that second tier.
Exactly.
So
they can always play each other.
Yes, I'm not sure how you fix it. I'm not sure how you make it a bit more competitive or fair for them and for the lesser teams as well. I'm not sure how everybody wins here.
Exactly. That's the thing. Everybody doesn't win. That's the thing. My thing is that my final point on this is that I was looking back at it. The last time we toured Pakistan for a test series was 10 years ago.
Okay.
We bounced us up when we go in them subcontinent.
Yeah. Because it's a completely different squad of players.
Exactly. We don't play in subcontinent regular. So.
And not only that too, I remember like when we were younger, they used to have the A series or they have like a couple one or 2 warm matches. That doesn't happen anymore because it's different congestion. It's difficult to have proper preparation when you go to certain conditions or whatnot.
So yeah, I think there were some stats the other day that was showing that 2024 was a great year for Test cricket across the board. And obviously that's reflected in an unexpected team outside. I mean, we know New Zealand won the first Test championship, but you know, it's always Australia or India there in the final, but good to see South Africa there. So I just think Test cricket is not dead. They just need to find a way to spread around the resources that you're saying to everybody. But like you say, we see how it goes. So that brings us to another episode of the Dugout Podcast. As usual, like, share, comment, subscribe. Especially follow our sponsors, Whole Health Pharmacy and Spirit Life Studios. Follow me, Marissa Simone 91, and Andrew.
Drew 9106.
And obviously follow the Dugout_podcast, our podcast Instagram page. And yeah, I really do think that we are hitting a good groove, and hopefully we have a special guest next week because I'm sure people are tired of just seeing us come on here and argue.
I'm not so sure, but fair enough.
Yeah. So anything else to add?
No, but again, we're thankful for your support. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. For sure, leave your comments. Let us know what we can do better.
Yes.
What we can do differently, and we will definitely try to implement those suggestions.
Yes. So see you again next time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dugout Podcast. I am co-host Andrew, and I'm joined alongside my fellow co-host Marissa.
Hi.
If you need to start again.
Why?
Because I know they are here for you.
That's me every week.
Oh, shoot, and we're starting recording anyway.
Wow.
I knew that something was off, right?
Let me
For some
go.
reason, I knew that something was off.
Sure.
I did.
Alright, I started.